suspect is still at large. Initially, the body of the suspect was found within the mass of bodies in the suspect's residential home after the suspect had taken his own life. Killer J, as he has been nicknamed by many social media outlets, has claimed over 12 victims in a sadistic ritual murder spree, leaving the words "Eterna Muerte" carved into the flesh of his victims. Authorities have advised residents to close all windows and doors.
Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Killer J. Y'all can call me KJ. Welcome back to another episode of Late Nights with a Killer. Not the only, but one of the few internet talk shows that brings in other content creators to just express, have a conversation, and have fun. And with us today, we have a fellow Puerto Rican, with that Puerto Rican blood inside of them, directly from Florida. Her sunsetter, bro. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being here, man. It's seeing you for the first time, because we talked over Instagram and inbox a lot. Seeing you for the first time, just I can confirm it. He's like a fellow Puerto Rican. How you doing, man? How you doing? Everything good?
For sure. Well, thanks for having me. I know we've been talking about being on the podcast for a minute there, but it's good to be here. And yeah, born and raised from Ponce.
Yeah. Oh shit, Ponce. I mean, I know I'm gonna get someone commenting. I know someone's gonna say something. I already know. Yeah. For those who don't know, just look it up. I'm not gonna take the time to explain to you, man. It's fun. I think I found I followed you, right? And I love horror creators. So every time that I see one that is I'm not gonna say worth following, but that's basically what I have to say. I actually follow them. You know what I mean? So I think it was me that followed you for the first time, right? I either
followed me, and then I saw the Late Nights with the Killer ad when you started doing it.
Oh, that fucking video, bro!
And I saw your first one with Mortuary Gaming, which I had followed a few days before.
He's a great guy. He's a really cool guy. He was very nice when I was filming this episode, the first episode of Late Nights with the Killer. He was very nice because even before and after, he was like, "Hey, if you do this, it's gonna help you flow a lot more." Because even though I've always been a guest in podcasts, I've never been the host of one. So it's a whole different thing. Because the moment I hit record while recording with him, my nerves and I've been doing content for about 4 years and then off not seriously for about 10. You know what I mean? So it was so weird to actually be a host for the first time because I've always been the invited one. But man, let me go straight into some horror things, because this is what people are here for. I know I got some comments in the last video. I always like to give you guys a little question to get you prep and start the flow with everything, bro. Very simple, very easy. What got you into horror? And it's so you can give it some thought, because I know I've loved horror since I was 5 years old. What got me actually into horror, if believe it or not, was music and wrestling, which is a totally different thing. So my sister, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because it's the type of relationship that we have as adults, but when we were small, we were buried together, but she was 7-10 years older than me. So when I was 5-10, she was already in a teen, and she was going through her rebel phase. You know how every teenager goes through their rebel phase, and she started listening to Marlon Manson. I can't even say it.
Marilyn Manson, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, también. And Slipknot, out of all the bands. And then from there, I started looking into the videos. She had a VHS of Manson, and videos, and I would watch that late at night. And then, through the sides, she would obviously watch horror movies and stuff like that. But I was scared as a kid, because I think every kid is scared at horror movies when they're small. They always get scared. It's part of the growing up and accepting horror and stuff like that. But the second thing was actually wrestling. My dad was a huge wrestling fan, and he was a huge Undertaker and Kane fan. And then when I saw Kane, I remember when I saw Kane for the first time, I'm like, oh, he looks so cool, the mask. And then Dad combined with my sister watching horror movies, I saw Jason Voorhees for the first time, and I'm like, oh wait, shit, this guy's this is like Kane. But if Kane were to fucking kick people's ass in real life, you know what I mean? If he were to actually and it just started from there. Right now I'm a Michael Myers stan, but Jason was my boy for about 20 fucking years, bro.
I love Michael. I love Jason. I have the box set of Friday 13 in the closet with the 3D glasses and everything.
Oh shit!
Freddy and Chucky are my favorite because of the personality. I do
Oh,
love the quips. Jason and Michael, they don't speak.
yeah, they're silent
So
killers. They're more like the scare tactics of
great.
them. Yeah. Yeah,
That's before the whole comedy over.
I was actually working on. I'm working on Freddy versus Jason video right now, and we watched the last two ones, which was Jason Goes to Hell and Freddy's Nightmare. I think no, it was Freddy's Nightmare. No, it's Freddy's Dead. I think it's called the Final Nightmare.
The Final Nightmare, Freddy's
Bro,
Dead. The
and
final
I was streaming and I couldn't get through the film. I just really, and I keep in mind, I love old school slasher films, but I was so lost that my ADHD was just all over the fucking place. Because there's so much going on in that film. I don't know if you've seen it. If you haven't, give it a rewatch and then, come back and talk to me about it.
I actually saw, and I went through, to answer your first question,
Oh, yeah.
it's very similar to you. My older brother, I would say, got me into horror because we have a 7-year age gap, I think.
Oh, okay.
And then same thing, he would be watching the movies. He was into the metal music, which in Puerto Rico at that time, if you were on the edgy side, it was Slipknot, it was Marilyn Manson, and it was Korn.
Oh, of course, bro. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
It's a tick I have. I'm sorry. It's a tick.
Listen to those three back in the early 2000s, back in the late 90s in Puerto Rico. You were satanico.
Yeah, and it all has to do with the religion, also cultural
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. Because obviously, it's funny because I tell people, no, I never grew up being a metalhead, which I actually did. And I always tell the joke, and they're like, "Hey, you grew up like being a rockerito, like a metalhead." And I'm like, "No, actually, I was actually very caco. I was very like ghetto." And they always get impressed because obviously I wear even horror shirts to work. You know what I mean? Like I've gotten called, to the side a couple times because of some of them, but you can tell. And they always get surprised, like, "Nah," you're like, "Yeah, I was rockerito," and it's kind of like weird because culturally, it's very frowned upon for some reason. Like it's very.
It's getting easier now.
Yeah.
because now it's just normal. You see, Bad Bunny has his
nails, yeah.
painted on. Nobody blinks an eye, but back then,
Yeah, it was a whole different thing.
And I went to a Catholic school in Puerto Rico.
Why?
Yeah,
Why is it always that every metalhead that I know that was Puerto Rican went to a Catholic school or like a Catholic like group meeting? Every single one that I knew, bro. It's
Because
like
your parents forced you.
there we
And
go.
then
Like a
they
cleansing.
tried to not brainwash you, but they tried to do the whole Catholic school
It's-
bullshit, and then you rebel the only way you can.
Yeah, because the opposite to like religion would be, and I'm not, that's just like a personal opinion. But yeah, man, almost every little metalhead that I knew growing up went to like a Catholic school or had a Catholic group that they would go to. Again, oxymoron, because it would be, the religion and music. But now that you're talking about it, it's like almost like a cleansing. It's almost like the weird religious, like straight camps, you know what I mean? They would try to set you straight and not fucking ridiculous, bro. So you were saying how your brother got you into the music, it got you into the movies and into the music. Like, what was like the first like movie you remember like watching in itself, if you remember?
Bride of Chucky.
God, we have a lot of fucking shit in common because I have a trauma with that movie because it was the first ever horror movie that I saw in theaters, and my sister just decided to take me with my mother. And I remember I sat behind the fucking like chairs the whole goddamn movie. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah. No, I saw it at home. And it was with my brother and my mother, and same. And then the thing is, because of the age gap, if I wanted to spend time with my brother who was spending time with my mom, I would have to be able to watch whatever they're watching. So my brother wanted to see Brother Chucky. It was either that or go to the next room with my grandma and watch Don Francisco.
I mean, Don Francisco hits a couple times. I'm just gonna point that out. He hits every now and again. It's almost like The Price is Right when Bob Barker was there.
He does. He's a content creator now.
I think everybody, bro. Have you seen the Undertaker's podcast?
No, I haven't seen the. But
Dude.
my brother had an Undertaker fucking poster growing up too.
Oh, with the eyes rolled and everything, like everything, bro.
With the lightning, everything. It was on the wall. We had the Bride of Chucky poster. He had the Undertaker, and that's how I got into it. I started watching, borrowing movies from him, borrowing movies from my other family members, my cousins that are also older cousins. So same thing. If I wanted to spend time with them, I was the little kid. I was the brat of the
Yeah.
house. So it's either watch what they want to watch or
Go somewhere else, basically.
go somewhere else, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm
like
not gonna put Bluey for you. Well, don't put it back then. We're not gonna put Rugrats for you, buddy. You either watch what we're gonna watch or you leave the room. That's the two options.
and it's funny because they asked us to close our eyes during certain scenes and shit like that, but you're still exposing us to the goddamn film. Like it doesn't change. Like my parents, like their safe bet was like when someone was getting killed, they're like, "Oh, close your eyes." I'm like, "Okay, I'll close my eyes." But it was like forceful. But it got to a point where I'm like, I don't want to close my eyes anymore. I want to see what's happening. You know what I mean? Like I want to see the actual kills, and that's where it started. Like the love for it.
Exactly. My brother would say like, "Hey, I'm gonna put a Chucky doll outside your room at night. Don't tell mom."
That is fucked
Oh,
up,
deny it.
bro.
And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
It's
So he did shit
trauma,
like that.
bro.
It was trauma, but it was like that. My brother's also, he's an artist. He makes horror content, but not videos. He draws.
Oh, that's
Makes
beautiful,
fan art.
man. He's an artist. Okay,
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so he would make, even as a kid, he would make like cardboard skeletons and zombies and put them in the backyard. I remember one time he picked me up above his head and he was gonna throw me to the skeletons.
Jeez, it's a WWE move. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's Big Brother energy. It's what happened.
He locked me in a walk-in closet, bro. Like with the lights off.
Bro, my sister kicking me down the stairs. It's part of the culture.
He
No,
bullied me.
but I think it makes it stronger. And you know, at least it created a love for something that at 30 years old we still love, and it's not getting bullied. Is horror. Actually, speaking of which. You were talking about the Chucky and how your brother used to pull pranks on him. That reminded me, you just unlocked the memory. I remember my sister one time, and I was older at this point. I was like a teenager. She snuck into my room and changed my alarm for the one missed call alarm. And I bet a lot of people, fuck.
Dun, 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 dun.
I,
Everybody had that song in their freaking razors.
but I didn't. Imagine waking up to that shit when you have Bob Marley, "I Want to Love You" as your ringtone, as your alarm ringtone.
Yeah.
It freaked me out. And I was like 12, 13 at the time when the movie came out. And my sister, yeah, she used to she would put sheets over her head and try to scare the shit out of me. Like it's developed to how I torture Stacy nowadays with the scares and everything that I do at home.
Sure, I would be playing GameCube, my brother walk into the room, look at me, look at the screen, and then go and turn it off, and then leave. I'm just like, bro, why?
Did he ever pull like the screamer prank on you?
The what?
The screamer prank. You know, everybody they had to pop their cherry with the screamer prank. Like, hey, look at this ghost in this corner. Look at the car going by the fucking tree. My sister traumatized me with that. I literally have a fucking Samara tattooed because she traumatized me with a screamer. It was one of those weird flash sights. They're like, oh, look at this corner and you'll see a fucking ghost. And the fucking no eye bitch would pop out. I don't know if you remember that image. I don't want to pull it because I know some people do have PTSD because of this shit. Yeah, even in Reddit. But I don't know if your brother ever pulled that prank on you, bro. Because I made a whole video on screamers too.
And I love doing this in my own videos where I pull the parallels of the past to the present. If you play Dead by Daylight and you're in the loading screen with Samara, as you are just waiting for everybody to get ready, their shit together, she will do the eye like.
Oh, I
on
came
you.
across that. Yeah, I came across that on stream. I fucking hate that. I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that.
I wasn't ready for that either. When I started playing Dead by Daylight, and she was one of my favorites, and like she would just do that thing. I would be on stream like freaking out because I'm like.
I think when it comes to Dead by Daylight, like she's one of the few actual killers that I still freak out if I'm playing against. Like if I'm playing against like Sadako, like I freak the fuck out because you have to do so much in her fucking games, even the fucking tape, and it really freaks me the fuck out. And the fact that it's just fucking Sadako, bro. I think everybody has the trauma either with the Grudge, with Kayako, or the Sadako. It's either one or the other because it's always either that or I forgot her name from The Exorcist. Either one of them, bro.
I forgot her name.
Yeah.
But we know. It was
Someone comment down below and just tell me the name.
Reagan.
There we go.
Reagan.
It's either Reagan, Sadako, or Kayako. They were always there, bro.
Speaking of Frey versus Jason, if you haven't seen this already, I do recommend Kayako versus Sadako.
I've seen it. I had to go to a
Yeah.
bootleg website because it was just when the movie got like released.
So good.
Ah.
So good.
If you turn okay, so it's one of those horror movies that if you turn off your brain, like Freddy vs. Jason, you enjoy it a whole lot more. Because if you go into content creator mode, like I was when I was watching Freddy vs. Jason, bro, the fact, let me take my glasses off. The fact that they had to drive from Elm Street to Crystal Lake, which is 5 hours, while Jason was knocked out in the background, just killed the whole fucking movie for me. It's like, that is, no.
Freddy vs. Jason is a funny movie. Anything that has versus or in space is gonna suck.
Except for Alien vs. Predator Requiem. That was a dark movie. Literally. Way too dark.
But then, like, Callejón vs. Sarago, it's just like, there's nothing funny about it. It's not a comedy. They didn't think it was ironic. They literally were.
They wanted to make it serious.
Two verses against each other. And that goes well with the Japanese aesthetic. There's an anime called Dark Gathering where it's a little girl that can see ghosts, and she's trapping them in toys to put them against each other to get the stronger and stronger ghosts. Because she's out to find one particular ghost and get revenge on that ghost. So she captures other spirits, brings her back to her place where she has the other ghosts, and they fight against each other. So that topic of Japanese curses, which Sadako and Kayako are curses, they fighting against each other to see which one would like nullify or prevail, which, if without spoiling the movie, doesn't work.
It never works, bro. It doesn't fucking never work.
That doesn't work. But yeah, it goes on theme. You know, you can see the parallels throughout different media, not just video games, not just horror movies. But yeah, that's a great movie. And One Missed Call is a great movie too.
The original has, and again, I don't want to be part of the cliche or anything, but that scene that everybody talks about, it is a fucking scary scene. Even if you turn your brain off and you're just like having fun watching the film, that goes when she's, I don't know if you know what scene I'm talking about, everybody has talked about in the community and stuff like that. It's when the girl's walking towards the guy and she's like almost dancing, but not dancing at the same time. The thing is, the reason why I found it scary is because it reoccurred in one of my dreams. And I don't believe in all this shit, you know what I mean? Like, shit that happens in your dreams happen in real life. But the fact that my brain was so, like, attached to that scene that I saw it with someone that I knew in my dream freaked me the fuck out. And when I showed it to Stacy, because I'm basically, like, giving her, like, a crash course in horror, even she was like, that's just weird, bro. It's like almost looking down your hallway at night. You know what I mean? Because you think something's there, but it's really not.
It's just scary.
Yeah, it is.
And the jerky Japanese ghost walk is iconic.
I also like the Korean zombie, like the fucking twitching type zombies. Those are fucking like, because I love Dawn of the Dead, the original and the remake, and the fact that zombies run. But that little shakiness and little kind of twitchiness that they add to them really fucks me up. Like, I don't know if you've seen #Alive.
#Alive. No, I haven't seen that one.
Take a chance, watch it. It's one of those like Korean films. It's about literally a content creator that gets stuck like in his apartment building. It's actually, I recommend it. It's very nice. It's very good. Like they have
loving these content creator horror movies.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Couple of years. There's a couple.
Yeah,
a lot of them are found footage, but it's found footage because they're content creators.
I don't. Speaking of found footage, I don't know if you got around to seeing the one that I saw on stream, the cereal and milk one, milk and cereal on YouTube.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Bro,
I added it to a list, but I haven't seen it.
When you get a chance, watch it. It's actually very well made. I'm very critical with movies. Like, I'm just like an old head, so I'm very critical with certain movies. And that was very good. I actually sat down to it. People saw my legit reaction to it. Like, I wasn't like trying to fake or content or clickbait. Like, it was actually, I'm not gonna say it was a scary film, but it's one of those little short films where you're like, oh shit, this feels like an actual feature film. I wish I had a little bit more of it. But at the same time, like, it's just very nice and very well paced. It's one of those things where you try to predict what's gonna happen, and you kind of hit it on the head, but you don't hit it completely. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but you don't hit it completely. You know what I mean? So it's very nice. It's very nice.
I do that a lot too, though. I can't turn that part of my brain off. Where as soon as I'm in the first 10 minutes of a movie, I'm trying to predict what is the end.
ADHD, bro. I'm telling you.
Cuckoo. I watched Cuckoo last night.
I haven't come around to see it, bro. I haven't come around.
It was good, but I was like trying to decipher everything. I was like, okay, this is what it's gonna be.
So
and I was half right.
You have so, like, I have to watch Cuckoo. I have to watch a couple of movies that are literally from this year that I haven't actually sat down and watched. But I wanted to save them for like Halloween, so that way we can kind of watch all the good shit that's happening. Because I'm thinking of doing like a best of 2024 like horror films. Thinking I'm not gonna actually do it because everybody fucking does that. But thinking, so that's what I wanted to do. I want to keep it fresh. Speaking of which, that same thought that you had there predicting is what ruined Malignant for me. And again, I have to speak on spoilers on this one. I grabbed, it wasn't even me. Stacy just leaned on me and she's like, it's behind her head, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, I think it's behind her head. And then you see that first scene where she's waking up in the middle of the night. You're like, yep, no, that's it. I'm done. I got 45 minutes worth of this. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It got ruined because I'm, being stupid and trying to predict the future.
The problem with movies now is that if you're a horror fan and you're an old head, you've seen so many movies that you can predict the tropes.
Yeah.
But there are movies that are the exception. For example, Tusk.
Oh, fuck that movie. God
There is
damn.
no way you could have predicted Tusk because there hasn't been. Well, Human Centipede is alongside the style of Tusk. If you saw Human Centipede, I guess you could have predicted the ending of Tusk, what was going on. But in Malignant, Malignant is a love letter to the old Italian giallo movies. So if you watch those movies and you watch Malignant, you kind of go through it. And
with the color scheme.
The color scheme, the eye horror, the gloves with the dagger. That's all old school Italian horror. But if you saw Tales from the Crypt, there's an episode of the ventriloquist dummy.
Okay, so I haven't seen that one. No.
Haven't seen that one? But
No.
It's sort of like Malignant.
Okay.
It's not a possessed dummy. It's part of his body.
Oh.
It's causing it's body horror. So it goes along those lines. So yeah.
I gotta write that. You gotta send me it when you get a chance after the podcast. Send me that because I'm doing a Tales of the Crypt episode, but I haven't started reading the script yet. So I was battling to see what episode I actually wanted to do. So you already gave me the idea. So who knows? Maybe we'll do like a little video credit. Also, have you in that video and have you like edit in like a little part or something. That'll be great.
I have the volumes. I have a couple of volumes of Tales from the Crypt on DVD, but they're all on YouTube. All the episodes are on YouTube.
That's mostly where I get them. Either that or Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, but in case of Tales from the Crypt, you don't have to go that far because of the copyright issue, which is the same thing why we haven't gotten a Blu-ray version of Tales from the Crypt. It's stuck on DVD forever.
Yeah, but it is a trope with horror. Like we've got things with copyrights and problems since Friday the 13th. So it is a thing when it comes to the indiness and the easiness and to make horror not easy. Horror film or major horror film and that a lot of indie aspects. There's a lot of films that are coming out to this year are indie films. They're not major motion pictures. Most of the major motion pictures, like fucking A24 is like the AI horror film. They're coming out and they're getting bombed. They're basically not bombing at the box office, but they're bombing within the community because it's a whole different thing. But I feel like it's always been that kind of indie atmosphere where there's always like gonna be legal problems and shit, but it's always been that indie. Because even Friday the 13th, Halloween, movies like that started as indie films. They just became icons to what they are today.
Freddy is pretty much the one that saved that studio.
It became their icon, bro. It became his icon.
House that Freddy built. That's
Literally.
how they call it. It's the house that Freddy built because he put all his money on the first Nightmare on Elm Street. If it bombed, there wouldn't be anymore.
Yep.
That would have been it, but it didn't. And then, but I love that. But yeah, people forget that horror movies also blew up in the Blockbuster before Blockbuster when we had mom and pop video, and it was straight to video, and that's how people made money.
Mm-hmm. A lot of films.
Now we have the indie films. We can put it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of mom and pop places, the one near my town is still working, which is one of the perks of living in a fucking island. Like you still get mom and pop DVD rentals, and I remember even going to that place. And one of my first experiences with a disturbing film was just randomly picking Megan is Missing from my video store. And keep in mind, I was like 14, 15 at the time. So I've only watched Megan is Missing twice in my life. Once when I was 15 and once when I did it for the stream because I was going to make a video of it. And I'm not going to say I chickened out, but it's just a movie that it's not that it's not worth talking about like the Serbian film is. It's just that it's a movie that it's almost like an educational purposes. You watch it, okay, I watched it, I got through that. That's it, and I just didn't feel like speaking about it afterwards. And I'm not saying it scared me or it shocked me. It's just, you know, when you live in Puerto Rico, you know what people at that age get to, and it's similar to what's happening into the film. Like it happens, it is part of the culture. And I've spoken about this in a bunch of my other videos and stuff like that. It is part of the culture that teenagers get, you know, they get to do a lot of whatever they want, and they get to drink earlier than normal. But it put me in a place where when I watched it when I was 15, and I was like, shit, this is literally, I'm not gonna say the same shit that I do because I wasn't that popular, but this is the same shit that people talk about in school. You know what I mean? Yep. You know, meeting older men and shit like that, going to parties, drinking, drugs, and it gave me such a weird image of like the popular kids and shit like that. That was kind of the day where I just stopped striving to be known in school because I was just scared of shit like that. Even if I wasn't a girl, I was scared of shit weird, like depraved shit to happen to me like that. Yeah.
The poster child of missing children in Puerto Rico is Rolandito.
Yeah.
And we just found them the other day.
Even till this day, bro, it's been what, 40, 30 years? And we're still talking about it. And in the same ballpark. Lorenzo. Horrible fucking crime, bro. And it's just shit that happens. But let me segue into something more vanilla. I know in horror we get into more disturbing stuff. We haven't talked about this. We've been here for about 20 minutes, man. Your content, bro. Like, you do gaming horror content, and you also do reactions, story times, and stuff like that. You have a character which you play also in your stories, just for people when they see you in character don't get confused. Like, you also have a character you play while you're on screen. Talk to me a little bit about that. Like, what was like your first like actual content you wanted to do? You started with social media, you started with streaming, you started with YouTube. Like, what was like your initial goal when it came to doing content?
So before the content stage, I studied photography.
Okay.
So my first content was photo manipulations in DeviantArt, artwork. You know, I saw myself as an artist, photography, and all that stuff. And I like doing very stylized photography. From there, after COVID, after everything, I was like playing video games as I always have done since the Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. And I figured out, well, I'm already playing these games. Why don't I do it live to share with other people? Because I play, I'm a bit of a loner. I play single player games. Even Dead by Daylight, which is a multiplayer game, I play as a killer, as a main, so I didn't play with other people.
Okay. Now I was gonna say, well, it technically it's a single player. You know, like unless you're with a party, but then you're like, oh, the killer. Like, okay, I get it.
The killer,
I get it.
Yeah. Yourself now.
Yeah.
So then I started playing and I started streaming, and I had friends that were far away from me that we grew up together, but we've all have adult lives. They got children. So I was like, hey guys, you know, I'm gonna be playing and I'm gonna be putting it live. So if you guys want to join it, start from there. And I didn't take it too seriously until quite recently, where I started doing, okay, well, what if I actually put some of my knowledge from production, from video, from photography, from graphic design into this and actually do something with it. Okay. And then I started doing not live streaming, where there's a term for it in the business, which is off the shelf content, which is anybody can buy a game at Walmart and start playing it.
Okay.
So how can I do something different? How can I not just be, hey, I'm playing this, watch me play? Because why would you watch me play this game when you could go watch Markiplier? Exactly.
I've been saying that shit for years.
And then I came up with a persona of her Sunsetter, but via the Pumpkinhead, because that also was another. Everything comes from an inside joke. Her Sunsetter comes from Cradle of Filth lyrics.
Oh shit! Now that you fucking mention it, that's where I knew it from. Like, I've heard this shit before, bro. Continue, sorry.
So we started there, and then while I was streaming, there was a returning viewer that one Halloween I had pumpkin makeup, and she started calling me Pumpkin.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I let it go. But then from there, when I was thinking of how can I be different, I was like, well, I always love horror hosts, Elvira, the Crypt Keeper, Joe Bob, If we want to go even older, we can go to Vampira. We can
God
go to Doctor
damn.
Spectre. We can go to.
I
A
forgot
bunch
the
of mo-
host from Twilight Zone. I forgot his fucking name. I'll search it up. Comment down below if you know the name. The host from the Twilight
Yeah,
show, bro. Like that's
Twilight
like one of the
Zone.
OGs. Yeah.
Let's say Jordan Peele for this generation.
Okay, Jordan Peele. Yeah. Like,
Jordan Peele for this.
fuck, right? I
the-
forgot. He's. Oh my
the
god.
remake.
Yeah.
He's the new-
Yeah, I didn't
So
watch it.
then
Don't worry about it.
I did my research and I landed on the Pumpkinhead as a way of doing mixed media. So instead of doing a full VTuber setup, I do mixed media where I can do very Crypt Keeper. Hello, kitties.
Okay.
The Crypt Keeper, a little doctored up, so to speak.
Okay. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Very
I have to
character,
do that.
yeah.
You can tell that, and this is how I can relate to you. You probably can relate to this, which is living in Puerto Rico, living in a small island. You get what you can get. So if you had a DVD, you're gonna play that DVD 100 million
Oh my
times.
god. Hell yeah.
I've seen Tales from the Crypt season 2 100 million times because it's the freaking volume that I have on DVD when I was growing up. So
I still have my old Friday 13 VHS here, bro. That if I can find a VHS, I would literally just play them in the background because it's just like
I have
comfort
Spawn.
sounds. Yeah. Spawn. Oh my god. Wait. No, it's not Wesley Snipes. No, it's not Wesley Snipes. What's his fucking name? Give me a hint. I forgot. The actor that plays Spawn. I forgot his fucking name. Is it Wesley Snipes? No, it's not.
It's not Blade.
It's fucking
Forgot his name too. I know
the
clown's
guy
name,
from
but-
fucking Never Back Down, like 2 or 1. What was this? It has Mike. I don't want to sound like people were being saying racist. You're mixing like names here. To sound, what's his fucking name?
Wait, the cast. Michael J. White.
I knew it was Michael. I just didn't want to see. I was gonna say Michael J. Fox. Michael J.
And then-
White, the martial artist.
But people, because that's the big name, people forget the clown is John Leguizamo.
Yes,
He's
sir.
Puerto Rican.
Yes, sir. Oh my god, I can't believe he actually ate the fucking worms for that shot. Like, I think he was at a point in his career where he came off that other weird cult classic film where he's a scammer. I forgot. I don't know which came first. Let me see if I remember that one. It's a movie about him being a scammer.
Yeah,
he's like a professional-
I know which one.
And I
I know
don't know
which one you're referring to.
I don't know if that came before or after Spawn, because I know Spawn is it's in the 90s, I believe, right?
1997.
God damn, fuck, I feel old.
But I have in VHS. I have Spawn 2, which is the HBO.
Wait.
Series.
Oh, okay. I got it. No, I don't remember because I was like, wait, there's
Yeah.
a second one. There's a second
It's
film.
called Spawn 2, and I have it with the holographic cover art, and I got it from a mom and pop VHS rental place in Ponce.
Is it the one where he's like his face is almost there? You can kind of see the top of the cape on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
It's the animated version where you
Okay.
can see they added the detectives. They added more. It's more based on the comics.
yeah.
But it's still it's R rated. It's still R rated. It's
I think I have-
HBO at its finest.
I do have a Spawn issue #1 laying around here, so I am a fan of Spawn. I actually have a Spawn figure right there I bought in Comic Con. I don't know if you can see it where I'm pointing at right there. So I'm a big fan of Spawn. I remember I got his comic book stolen when I took him to elementary school. Like I had like 10 of them, and I even had the hanging one, the one that's a little more sensitive to the subject.
Yeah.
I had it too. I remember it got stolen from me.
I have 1 through maybe 11, and last week I actually got my hands on Spawn #9, which is the first appearance of Angela, the angel.
Oh, is that the white covered one?
Yeah, it's a white.
Oh,
cover,
I do remember that one, yeah.
and first appearance of medieval Spawn and first appearance of Angela.
That was like the prelude of that comic. It's like, damn, and then she kills him. And yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that comic. God, man, I'm so bummed out now because they fucking got it for me. But I still have #1 there. Speaking of which, I don't know if you remember playing the PlayStation 2 video game, the Spawn PlayStation 2.
Spawn Armageddon.
Oh
It's on
my
list. I want to
God. You've never played it, bro?
Oh, I did in the GameCube. I played it on the GameCube.
Okay. Yeah.
And I passed it, but I want to replay it. I want to do a series. That's one of the side projects I'm working on. That I want to do a series of nostalgia games.
Okay.
I don't want to call it vintage, but nostalgia games for me at least. And then going back to the GameCube, and yeah, Spawn is on that list. Spawn, Hunter, Redeemer, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer video game.
I Yeah, I remember playing Spawn was actually one of those games that I first like one of my first. It was Resident Evil, one of my first horror games. But then I remember playing that game.
Which Resident Evil?
Resident Evil Director's Cut on PS1. That was like one of my first horror games. Like that was like I remember my sister. Yeah,
was called Veronica.
Oh my god, fucking masterpiece, bro. Because I remember my sister, she bought a PS2 and she bought a bunch of PlayStation 1 games. And we had Twister Metal, like 1, Twister Metal, like Kids.
Oh.
And then we had, and then Resident Evil Director's Cut was there. And at the time, I was like 10, so like, I don't even know how to play that game. But that game always scared me as a kid. And now as an adult, it's like literally my top favorite like video game. It's one of the games that I have a love letter related with that game.
Yeah, I want to play Code Veronica. I'm waiting for it to get remade because I have a grudge to settle. Because I got a hand-me-down Sega Dreamcast with a bunch of games.
Oh, you got the OG. You didn't get Code Veronica X. You got the OG one, the harder one.
I didn't know what to do with myself. I can't get past the first. I remember, it's trauma. You get a lighter, a green herb, and a knife.
And then you get a cemetery.
And then once the helicopter crashes, because it always crashes in Resident Evil games, you gotta fight these freaking horde of zombies with a freaking knife.
Naked zombies. Out of that. Naked white zombies coming out of their grave. That's the traumatic part of it. Because the first line I ever said when I played that game was like, "Are these motherfuckers naked?" Like,
you're in a prison. You're in a prison cemetery, and for some reason they're naked. No diddy.
It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
yeah. But we digressed. But yeah, it's that. Hang on, I don't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about from the crowd.
Yeah.
So I decided as a way for me to do my content creation style was gonna be more of a horror host, but instead of horror hosting movies, I'll be horror hosting story-driven games, horror games, and that's what I'm working on right now. And then I started doing how can I do a persona without it being too cliche, without it being too, I don't know. I've seen a couple of other people that did. I mean, by research, there's some people that have done their personas, and it's very much just
the same person, just copy and paste it. I know what you're talking about. Don't worry about it. It's the same thing. Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, I'm not gonna be doing makeup every day that I gotta record.
Yes.
That's just a no. I'm sorry, I can't do.
I barely get dressed when I make videos. Trust me. So some of you guys don't know I'm naked from the waist down when I'm recording in some videos. I barely get dressed for videos. So makeup out of the question.
Yeah, it's hot in the island.
Oh fuck no! Don't even talk to me about heat, bro.
Yeah. So I'm like, nah. So that's how I ended up landing on that, and then so far that's I'm still working on the first quote unquote episode, or first game, which is the casting of Frank Stone. But that's how I landed on that. First, started just being for the lulz.
Okay.
And
you grew a little love for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you grew a love for it.
And I started to apply myself more to it, and just instead of doing it how we actually put some work in, more production value, and I don't know, I'm enjoying it. Even right now, it's just I do enjoy it. It's what I like doing, and I love my horror movies. You know, I love the Hellraiser. I love the Tales from the Crypt. Got the Jackal from 13 Ghosts. Let's see if I can see it.
Yeah, I can see. Oh, yeah, Ghostface. Oh, that's awesome, bro.
That's
so,
Ghostface.
Is that your brother?
No, so these are Stephen Ludus Holiday, who's
shout out,
an artist that does like this type of work, and he's also being featured in Blu-ray covers, and recently in Spirit Halloween, he has his product.
That is awesome, bro. That must have been a lot of money, bro. A lot of money.
I have 7. These are the ones in my room. We have the Crow in the living room, and then in another room we have the Angry Princess from 13 Ghosts, and we have Jennifer Check from Jennifer's Body. So we got Megan Fox in another room.
I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, I'm just saying. Anyways, bro. So speaking of gaming content, so you're working on story-driven games. So you are planning on doing some horror. You're planning on doing obviously. I wasn't Dying Line. The other one, one of the OGs, with the Wendigo. I forgot that one. Yeah, Until Dawn. Are you planning on the core Until Dawn?
The Quarry Until Dawn is getting remade, so I definitely want to read.
It's getting remade. How old is that fucking game? Why does it need to get remade already?
Until Dawn was the first one that gave you that responsibility of this is a kind of like a horror movie and you're responsible for the character's decision. After that came the anthology pictures, which was
I remember that one. Mm-hmm.
And then the rest that came afterwards, and then the Quarry, and then now came the casting of Frank Storm from the Dead by Daylight people. But like originally, I think Until Dawn was the first one that really gave you that responsibility of like, hey, if your character dies, you're done.
Well, we gotta mention also Heavy Rain, even though it's not a horror game, it is part of that story-driven game that gives you that. Well, technically it's a thriller kind of game. And then again, another one that's horror, Detroit, which Stacey has played. She loves that fucking game. She's like, I love it. It's like a series. Like she's like so into it. But actually, I was gonna mention because we're talking about your makeup and your whole thing. If you can say, bro, I don't know if it's a trade secret. How the fuck you get your fingers to look like that? Like, how do you get your face? Is it a filter? Is it makeup? Like, because I love doing Halloween makeup, but it looks like a filter. It doesn't even look like. Let me see if I have them
around here. So it's a glove. Those
Bullshit.
Those are called second skin gloves. And I can't take the credit for the idea because the whole one thing that made the idea in my research, I was watching another content creator who she's an artist and she does VTuber critics and reviews.
Okay.
Her name, she's like a mushroom type.
God damn, there's a content for everything.
VTuber. God damn. It's called Squeegee or something, but she's an artist and she does that. And then she was talking about the new trend of VTubers of mixed media or 2.5D. So not 3D, it's 2.5D, where you do
talking head content.
So for people to do cooking videos, and from that I adapted it. And she talked about, well, if you don't like showing your hands because your hands may be kind of yanky, you could use second-hand sleeves. And from that, if you work in construction or you work with your hands, you're gonna have yanky hands.
I'm just irresponsible.
So it's like a pantyhose for your hand.
Shoot!
Like this.
The thing is, I've seen your hands in the videos. You guys gotta check this out when you go to this channel. You gotta check it out. It doesn't even look. It looks like you literally dip your fingers in like a dust, but it looks faded out. So I thought you posted on your social media, and it was yesterday. You were streaming at 12 in the fucking morning. I fell asleep watching your stream, and I think I lurked you for about 2 hours till my phone died for like battery. But you were doing like a POV shot, and you were Magic the Gathering. I think you were opening Magic the Gathering cards, and you were in character. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing with his hands? Like, it's shiny. It's like I wanted to learn, but now the secret's out. It's out there. It was very
I thought about using makeup at first, like eyeshadow, but then I realized as I sat here, I looked at my white PlayStation controller and I said,
"Yeah,
there ain't no way. There ain't no way."
Yeah, because you would have to put like Mod Podge or like latex under it or something. You know what I mean? To keep it from running like out. So you're doing story-driven video games in your channel. Are you have any plans on playing other types of games or doing other type of content while you're, because you're doing mixed media? So do you have any other plans for other type of content, or you're strictly going to stay with the story-driven horror games?
For the time being, the plan is to do the horror host content creation as the entree, as the main course, and then for other non-story-driven games like Dead by Daylight, for example, where it's more about reaction,
competitive,
killing, competitiveness, and this is supposed to be a party game, but the competitive side comes out. Those I will still do live, like Twitch live streams and stuff like that for games like that, where it's just like Five Nights at Freddy's. It's more about, not so much about the story and more about the jump scares. For that, I feel like a camera on your face is the content.
Yeah.
For that, I wouldn't 100%. use the Pumpkinhead Sunsetter. But yeah, I have a list of games that I want to play. I actually keep a little horror calendar.
Oh, that is awesome, bro. Where do you got that from?
I got this from like Amazon.
I have one of those. I don't know if I have it later around, but I have one of those books that you fill in with like little dots and you get like the image. And I've been streaming that. That was very nice. I'll send you a couple pages, bro, so you can actually like do it, stuff like that. I'll send you like a packet or something. We'll talk about that later.
So this keeping organized. This is where I put down like what's coming out in the horror aspect. So Casting of Friendstone came out September 3rd. Lollipop Chainsaw remake came out September 12th.
Oh,
it's on
right.
the list. And then if you're a fan of that studio, they're actually gonna remake another game from that studio called Shadows of the Damned.
Shadows of the Dam. I might have to look
kinda
it
like
up. I'm not gonna admit that I've seen it.
So it's kind of like Dante's Inferno or the story of
You know, I'm recently playing Dante's Inferno again. Like, I'm literally not halfway. I'm almost done with the game. I hate when people say, "Oh, it's a God of War clone." Yeah, so a bunch of other games that came out that same year. At least this one had a great marketing scheme with the whole sitting and going to hell thing, and then the whole story of it's actually not. I've always, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in religion, but it's always intrigued me, the stories of the Bible. I've always been like a fan of the stories of the Bible because they're entertaining. And the Divine Comedy is a book that I've read. I've read the original. I've read the Dante's Inferno one. It is one of my favorite books. Other than a couple of Aaron Beauregard kind of film books, because I don't read that much, and I know it's going to be a little bit controversial with there's a playground and shit like that, but I love the Divine Comedy. It's one of those books that I can read, and I love showing to people and talking about it because it's nice. And the way that it got adapted in the game, it's just holy shit. This is fucking scary. I don't want to go to hell. You know what I mean? I don't want to be stuck in a wall for eternity and have some
the punishments, the levels.
Oh
is
my
amazing.
god,
I
bro!
don't care.
Like, I never got through the whole game when I was young. Now I'm as an adult, I'm getting through the whole game, and it legitimately like makes me terrified of going to hell because I'm like, that's horrible, bro.
It's brutal. Well, Shadows of the Dam is sort of like that. You're a demon hunter who's Latino, by the way, so props to them. So you got this dude with like a gun, and the gun talks. It's like possessed and has a skull.
It reminds me of the Darkness.
It's super campy. It's super campy,
Okay.
just like Lollipop Chainsaw. But then your girl gets taken by a demon, so you gotta like get her back. So it's kind of like Dante's Inferno, but then you have guns.
Okay.
So I'm excited for that to get remade. I hope they remade the other one, which is Killer's Dead. I love serious horror, and I love campy horror.
Okay.
Lollipop Chainsaw. You're there for a good time.
I get it. I'm a big fan of Dead Rising, and you know how that game is all.
Dead Rising.
It just got remade recently, just released. I'm so sad I couldn't get an Xbox to actually play it, but I am gonna eventually play it. So just be around. You know what I mean, guys? Be around. Whoever's watching, be around. I love that game, bro. I've recently replayed it. On stream completely. I tried to do a couple challenges. That game got so slept on when it came out. That game got way too I know it's a cult classic, but it got slept on. It was one of the best zombie games in my opinion, and it is that type of campy style of horror because you're having fun while committing genocide on zombies. You know what I mean? You're just having fun.
Zombicide. Have you seen Juan de los Muertos?
I've seen the wait. Is that the no? Sorry. I'm confusing it with the One Shot of the Dead movie. I've seen the trailer. No. Shaun of the Dead, and then there's One Shot of the Dead. I don't know if you've seen that one. Where it's an Asian film that is filmed in one shot, and it's these group of people that are going to film a zombie movie, and then a zombie apocalypse starts happening as they're filming the movie. So so we can exchange it. I haven't watched Juan of the Dead. Juan of the Dead, is that what it's called?
Juan de los Muertos.
Juan de los Muertos. Where's that from? Colombia or Mexico?
Cuba.
Oh my! You gotta be fucking kidding me. I gotta put that on my list. I gotta write it down when I get a chance.
It's Shaun of the Dead, but Cuban, and but it's so good, man. It's so good because they talk about. It's just so relatable coming from Puerto Rico, coming from an island.
I gotta watch it.
They talk about the gringo. They talk about this.
I bet you they blame them. I bet you they fucking blame them. The first thing they do is fucking blame the gringos when that starts happening. I gotta watch it. I gotta give it a chance.
It's like, what would happen if a zombie apocalypse happened in Cuba? This is what would happen.
Recently, because Stacy's not a big horror fan. My wife, she's not a big horror fan. So as she's been dating me, she's been getting into horror. And I gotta admit this: I'm 30 years old and I enjoy Five Nights at Freddy. I like the lore. I like this game. I like Security Breach. It's a fun game. People love hating on the game, but it's basically made indie horror gaming what it is today. And that's just my opinion. I know it's a little controversial, but if it wasn't for Five Nights at Freddy being as big as it was, a lot of content creators and a lot of YouTubers wouldn't be around nowadays gaming and doing horror gaming. That's just
because my exposure to Five Nights at Freddy's was my then at the time girlfriend's little brother handing me his phone and being like, "Hey, you should play this game."
You're fucking
like,
scaring the shit out of you.
phone on your phone, buddy? Like, what? You sure? Okay, let me see what there's on. And then there's like, you're like, oh, okay.
Stacey's a huge fan of it, so she's been exposed. Like that's how I know what kind of style horror she got. So recently we watched Shaun of the Dead for the first time. She's like, I didn't knew there were fucking zombie like comedy films. I'm like, yeah. And now if you've seen Wasted Away, I put it yesterday on my social media. It's originally called Zombies, and it's like a sci-fi direct to like DVD, direct to cable like film. But give it a chance as well. It's a very fun. It's a campy kind of funny horror film. It's one of those movies that you see and you're rolling your eyes every 5 minutes because you're like, like you can't be that stupid. Stacey and I were doing literally double takes every 5 minutes. Like, are you like, yeah, Stacey, that's happening. That's literally happening right now because it's about these four adults that come across a zombie like goo or something like that, and they drink it in like a beer ice cream, and then they think they're not zombies, but they actually are. And they think that people who are not zombies are actually zombies. So that's where the plot kind of like derives. They think they're zombies, but they're not. And you can see them. Certain shots are in black and white. This is what we see as humans. And then you got the color shots of the film, which is just them talking to each other. There's this makeout scene, bro, where they have both of the this spoiler by the way, but they have both of the characters making out, and then they switch to the zombie, and it's like fucking most disgusting / cringy shit. It's like that episode from The Office. I don't know if you've seen PDA. That is like 4th, 5th season where Michael gets like an actual girlfriend and she works with him. They're like touching each other, and it's like the fucking weirdest makeout scene, and they're dead, so they're zombies. So that's another one that I recommend. So I have to watch Juan of the Muertos. It's Spanish, right? Like completely Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
definitely. Stacey's gonna love it. I gotta literally find it tonight and watch it because she's gonna love it.
It's one of those movies that you find and you watch it because you're like, why not? And then you're actually like, you go in with such low expectations that you're just blown away by the fact that this movie got made, and you're just like, honestly, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I was like, I've seen worse. I think the worst movie I've ever, or at least the one that I remember, is called Mr. Jingles. And I bought it on DVD off of a mom and pop DVD rental that went under.
Is that ghetto ass fucking clown movie?
Yes.
Oh my!
I paid $5 for that.
Oh
my
God,
brother and
bro.
his friends did not let me see the end of it. Like they were like literally like anytime they see me, they'd be like, "Hey, it's Mr. Jingles." Yeah, I'm like, bro, like it was $5. They were going on sale. Like,
oh,
I
bro,
cool,
no.
but Mr. Jingles is terrible.
It's like Tales from the Hood, which is, it has its own little cult following. It's almost, sorry, not Tales from the Hood, Leprechaun in the Hood. Sorry, Leprechaun in the Hood. It has this little cult following, but you gotta admit that it's one of those things where like, come on, bro, no.
More fucked up when you realize that they made Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
Oh yeah, I know there's a sequel to it, bro. I think that one takes place after the space one, right?
We went to the Hood twice. We went to Vegas and then we went to the Hood twice.
Oh my!
We went to La Perla. We went to La Perla twice.
No, bro, no, bro. I don't want to get shot. Keep in mind, I still live here. Are you that guy that said that? No. But man, just so we can like start wrapping up, because it's been an hour already. That's fucking crazy, man. I just gotta point out, 2024. I need to know, what is your favorite movie so far? What is your favorite game so far? Let's come out. Shoot, off the back, bro.
So, 2024. Man, honestly, Alien Romulus was so good for me.
Fuck, I haven't watched it. God damn it!
It just brought me back to the original the first time I saw Alien, and I've watched the original. I watched the Prometheus once, then I watched Alien, and then I went to see Romulus.
Okay.
And I was like,
yeah, don't watch Aliens. Well, watch Aliens, but then stop there. Okay, just stop there. Yeah.
But the first one, the original one, still holds up.
It's a horror film, bro. It's a slasher film in space. It's a slasher film in space.
But for that time when it got made, to still hold up to this day,
bro. The fact what is it? 79, I think it is, or 80.
No, it's in the 70s.
It's 70, bro. It's crazy shit.
Holds up. So Alien Romulus will be my favorite one of 2024, just because it was so well done.
Okay.
And I like that they did. Oh, you haven't seen it, so I don't spoil it. But one of the people, one of the creatures.
Oh yeah, I've been spoiled.
Yeah.
I've been spoiled.
Okay,
Don't worry. I know
so
what it is. I've been spoiler alert, by the way, for
let's-
those who haven't seen it.
Let's call him the tall baby boy.
Oh my
The tall
god.
baby boy is an actual person in that suit who's that tall.
That fucking basketball
He
player,
was
bro.
a basketball player that had like the medical condition. It was too painful for it. He's now an act. I'm like, I love it. I love it. I love that they're doing
Practical
this, 'cause
horror
they
is always
could've
going to be
CGI.
great. Yeah, practical horror is
They
going
could
to
have
be great.
CGI the hell. You talked about this with Mortuary Gaming,
Yeah.
practical horror. So that has to be the one for 2024. And then as far as video games go, Mortuary Assistant doesn't count because it got released before this was.
Technically, it's a release console. But
It's a
how about
re-release.
best game you played in 2024? Let's switch it up a little bit because there haven't been that many like horror games, you know.
At least for me, honestly, I'm gonna have to just go give it to Mortuary Assistant.
I'm gonna
because-
play it eventually on stream. I never played it. That's gonna suck because I've seen the videos. I'm scared already. But whatever.
Just because of that, because of the RNG. I played it when it came out. I replayed it again. I refilmed all the endings. I have to post that video because I have to do the commentary. But it still would scare me. Because even if you're like, I've already played this game 10 times, the RNG will create haunts that you never
That
experienced.
you've never
before.
seen. That's what I
playing it.
love. And that's what I want to play. That's why I play it so bad. Because almost like
I'm
Left 4
wait,
Dead.
wait. I'll be like, hey, wait a minute. I'm like, I know this. I'm not going down that hallway.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna catch me twice. And then what I did is like, I'm gonna go the other way. Guess
Right.
what? That bitch came out the other way. And I was like, fuck.
So
But I love it. I love it.
So for me, up to now, like I was very hyped for Long Legs when it came out. I saw it. I had a lot of fun watching it. I haven't actually sat down and watched it a second time because I'm scared of my opinion changing. Because I love Nicolas Cage, bro. I love Nicolas Cage. Who doesn't love Nicolas Cage? I ordered a cutout so I can put it here of just Nicolas Cage just standing. I love Nicolas Cage. He's a great actor, and what he's doing with his career now, Symphony for the Devil, that was another great thriller film. If you haven't seen it, bro, sit down and watch it. It's very nice.
Love it.
So I loved Long Legs when I saw it. I was very hyped when I saw it. I've talked to the director over inbox a couple of times because I think the movie wasn't going to come out in Puerto Rico. I was a big fan of In a Violent Nature, but you guys see if you see my video on it, you know how I feel about that movie. It's one that I would watch once, and that's about it. But and I don't want to fucking I don't want to give shout out is not paid, bro. Bezo, it's fucking terrifying. Like that, I'm still thinking about that. I watched it I think yesterday or no, the day before. And Stacey and I are still talking about it, and we're still thinking about it. Like Aaron Fritkin, bro, again, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to watch the film when it came out. Again, this is not paid, this is just off my heart. September 24th comes out in all streaming services. Bro, that movie, it's crazy because the way I saw it is like, oh, it's going to be like an Evil Dead film. Not even close, bro. And the fact that Stacey has had some connection to, because it's about a witch. It's about a blind witch that lives in the bottom of a house, and she's lived there for about 60 years, and she does different things to different families that have come to live there. But it's been a while since I've had a jump scare actually get me to the point where I'm not jumping just because of the sound. I'm actually jumping because of what I saw. And I just gotta say, bro, no spoiler, but if you can get to see it, that bed scene, fuck that shit, bro. It's so sudden, and it's just out of left field, and it's just enough to where I screamed, and I had to pause the film. We both had to pause the film and be like, the fuck? And Stacy, she's literally, and she's gonna hate me for this. I hope she doesn't watch the podcast. But till this day, she's like, if you turn off the lights in the house, make sure you're in the fucking room with me before you do it. And I gotta admit to the fact that yesterday I left the door open, ran to the front of the house, and just ran to the room in the middle of the night. And I had the biggest scream I've heard in the 7 years that we've been together. So Bezo, bro, is very good. And best game that I played this year, to be honest, and I know a lot of people are gonna hate this shit, but off stream I played Resident Evil 0, and I enjoyed how nostalgic that game made me feel, bro. And I've never played it. It was the first time I played it. I've never played it. And when I played it, I'm like, God damn, this game feels like I feel like a kid playing this shit. Like, I mean, I would turn off the lights and I would just hunch over my screen and just play it. And it's not even that great of a game. It's just the weird sound design, the story, the cheesiness of the voice acting just took me back. So I got
The
admit it.
ASMR of the slugs.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, dude, I hate those fucking slug monsters.
It's
They're
in the
fucking
closet. I
disgusting.
have Resident Evil 0 for the GameCube with my memory card inside of it.
So you still have your save file there.
I have my save file there. I own Resident Evil 0 digital for Xbox. No, I actually bought it. I have Resident Evil 0 for the Xbox, but I have the original GameCube there. One of my favorite because it's one of the few Resident Evil games that I actually played front to back and actually beat.
It's
on my
good.
own
It's a
damn
good
self.
game, yeah.
That and Resident Evil 4.
Oh yeah,
Because
Resident
I had
Evil.
the Wii, but I had the gun for the Wii that you would like put it. So I played it with the motion.
Resident Evil has had as many like different versions as fucking Skyrim has, right? I gotta look that up because
Resident Evil 4.
yeah, he's
and
probably
my
had the
brother-
same amount of even mobile versions. You know what I mean?
My brother tried to get me to play it in VR because he has the VR headset, and I have to say I'm too old.
Yeah, Stacy wanted me to play fucking Security Help Wanted, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking play. I'm not gonna play that fucking game. Like, I'm not gonna do it. And she's like, oh, you should play more Trace Assistant in VR. I'm like, I don't even think it's out for VR. But she's like, no, not even. I'm not gonna even fathom the idea of playing that game in VR. Like, no, bro.
I love that horror is like everywhere.
Yeah, bro. It's very
Horror
popular
has been,
nowadays.
but now even more, there's no media where horror is not in.
It's
Comics,
popular,
so
bro.
I love buying the comics. I did yesterday the unboxing that you saw for Magic the Gathering because it's a horror set.
Did you get a Chucky?
Inspired by eight. No, so Chucky is gonna be a secret lair drop from their website that comes out on the 30th. You have to
Okay.
get it from their website, but I plan on getting it. I plan on getting it. I love Chucky, but but I just love all the little things. There's a card called Unwanted Remake.
Yeah, okay, so let me see. My Bloody Valentine 3D, Friday the 13th, God damn it, Nightmare on Elm. Oh sorry, I got caught up.
Everything like just the fact that all these horror inside jokes are now in a trading card game.
It's everywhere,
Magic,
bro.
You
It's
got
everywhere.
comic books everywhere.
And I think it also has to do with the exposure with social media and TikTok. Because even I follow creators that originally think they're horror creators, and then when you see them again, or you go to their profile, they just like the typical, you will not sleep after watching this film. And then you think they're horror creators, and you're like, oh no, they're just like TikTok trend followers, you know? So it's very popular. And I think TikTok has a
You don't
lot to
wanna
do with that.
Be a teenager and buy Ju-On, the Grudge book at Barnes and Nobles in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and then read that shit by yourself at dark. You're not gonna sleep. That's
Oh,
real
yeah.
horror there.
Yeah, bro. Anyways, bro, so before we head out, make sure you guys follow Her Sunsetter in his channel. Bro, if you want to say anything to your followers, anything to them, right now it's your chance. You have the floor. It's all yours.
Oh man, no, you've been very gracious having me in your podcast. I definitely appreciate the chance to be able to talk shop with somebody else that has like not just the same, not the same, but we're in the same field of content creation, but we also have similar backgrounds. So
Puerto
it's
Rican,
great.
bro. It's like right there.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly. And then I'm gonna send you a couple link because I have a cousin who is also Puerto Rican who now lives in North Carolina, and they do movie podcasts, but not
Oh,
just horror,
definitely.
but just in general. So I think you'll really
That's
enjoy
awesome.
that.
So you do YouTube, you got social media, you got Instagram, you got Twitter, you got
I'm
Facebook.
everywhere.
You're everywhere. Her Sunsetters everywhere, so I can pop
I'm
it up
the
on the
Hair
screen.
Center everywhere except Facebook.
I got Facebook. I don't work at Facebook's for old people and AI people. That's
My family is in there, so I don't.
Yeah, my in real life character is in Facebook. Guys, and like I always say before we head out, make sure you like, subscribe to my channel as well. All the links for all the shit that we talked about and stuff like that, if we mentioned it, once I edit it, they're going to be in the description. Her Sensitor's channel is going to be there along with his social media, so make sure you follow in there. And guys, like I always say before I head out, make sure you at least do something good with your fucking... No, I'm just kidding. Use your fucking turn signals. Make sure you like, subscribe. Have a great day, guys. Her, thank you so much for coming, bro. I appreciate it, okay?
We'll see you in the next nightmare.
And we're out.